Most people think the NFL has always been a money-printing machine, but let me tell you what they don't say. Back in 1958, pro football was barely more popular than a local bowling league and was actually losing money. Seriously, if you went back to 1958 and told someone the Super Bowl would one of the biggest event on the planet, they'd laugh you out of the room. Back then, baseball was king. It wasn't even close. College football was huge, sure, but the NFL? That was seen as a rough, gritty pastime for factory workers. It had zero glamour. But on December 28, 1958, inside Yankee Stadium, something happened that flipped the entire sports world upside down. 2 teams, 17 future Hall of Famers, and 1 television cable that accidentally got unplugged changed history forever. This is the story of the greatest NFL game ever played. To really get why this game matters, you have to look at the pieces on the board. We're in New York City. It's the NFL Championship. On one side, you have the New York Giants. They were the team of the big city, filled with actual famous stars like Frank Gifford. But the real magic of the Giants wasn't just the players, it was the coaching staff. This part is honestly hard to believe. The Giants had 2 coordinators. The guy running the offense was Vince Lombardi. Yes, that Vince Lombardi. The guy running the defense was Tom Landry. So, on one single sideline, you had the future creator of the Green Bay Packers dynasty and the future creator of the Dallas Cowboys dynasty standing next to each other. That's like having Michelangelo and Da Vinci painting the same ceiling. On the other side, you had the Baltimore Colts. They were the blue-collar underdogs, led by a quarterback named Johnny Unitas. Now, Unitas wasn't a polished superstar. He was a guy who been cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers and was literally working construction and playing semi-pro ball for $6 a game just a few years earlier. He had this hunchback posture, high-top shoes, and looked more like a plumber than an athlete. But he was about to invent the modern quarterback position right in front of everyone's eyes. The game kicked off, and it was a disaster for the Giants immediately. Their golden boy, Frank Gifford, fumbled the ball on the very first drive. Baltimore recovered. Then, a few plays later, Gifford fumbled again. The Colts were all over them. Johnny Unitas was slicing up the Giants' defense. He wasn't just throwing the ball, he was calling his own plays, something quarterbacks barely do today. He marched the Colts down the field, and they punched it in. By halftime, Baltimore was up 14-3. The crowd at Yankee Stadium was stunned. It felt like the Giants were going to get blown out in their own building. But remember that defense I mentioned? The one run by Tom Landry? They weren't going to roll over. They had a linebacker named Sam Huff, who was known for hitting people so hard it rattled their ancestors. The turning point came early in the second half. The Colts had the ball on the Giants' 1-yard line. They had 4 chances to score and put the game away. A touchdown here makes it 21-3, and the game is basically over. First down, stopped. Second down, stopped. Third down, stopped. On 4th down, the Colts decided to go for it. They handed the ball to Alan Amerch. He smashed into the line, but the Giants' defense, led by Huff, hit him like a brick wall. They stopped him inches from the goal line. The stadium exploded. That stand woke everyone up. It shifted the entire energy of the universe. Suddenly, the Giants' offense came alive. They hit a huge pass play, an 86-yard touchdown to Kyle Rote, who fumbled it, but his teammate Alex Webster picked it up and kept running. It was chaotic, it was messy, and it was beautiful. The Giants scored, then scored again. Suddenly, with just a few minutes left, the Giants were leading 17-14. Now we get to one of the most argued-about moments in NFL history. The Giants had the ball, just over 2 minutes left on the clock. If they could just get 1 first down, they could run out the clock and win the championship. They gave the ball to Frank Gifford. He ran to the right. He got tackled right near the first down marker. It was close, really close. The referees ran in, placed the ball, and measured. They signaled that he was short, inches short. If you talk to any Giants fan who was alive in 1958, they will swear on their life that Gifford made that first down. Gifford himself went to his grave saying he made it. But the ref said no, the Giants had to punt, This gave the ball back to Johnny Unitas. This is the moment where modern football was born. Today, we're used to seeing quarterbacks hurry up, spike the ball, and throw toward the sidelines to stop the clock. But in 1958, that didn't really exist. It was chaos. But Unitas was different. He was ice cold. He had the ball on his own 14-yard line with less than 2 minutes to go. He needed to drive the entire field against the best defense in the league. Unitas started connecting with his favorite target, Raymond Berry. Berry wasn't the fastest guy, and he had terrible eyesight, but he ran routes so perfect they looked like they were drawn by a machine. Unitas hit Berry. Boom. First down. He hit him again. First down. They were moving so fast the Giants couldn't substitute their players. Unitas got them down to the 20-yard line with 7 seconds left. They rushed the kicking team onto the field. Steve Meira lined up for the field goal. The snap was good, the hold was good, and the kick sailed through the uprights. 17-17. Time expired. Nobody knew what to do. In 1958, regular season games just ended in ties. But this was the championship. You can't have a tie. So, for the first time in the history of the NFL playoffs, they went to sudden death overtime. The first team to score wins. That's it. The captains met at midfield for the coin toss. The Giants won the toss. They chose to receive the ball. This was their chance. But the Colts defense forced a quick 3 and out. The Giants punted. Unitas got the ball back. He was standing on his own 20-yard line. The sun was going down behind the stadium. The air was freezing, and millions of people across America were glued to their TV screens. And then, disaster struck NBC. While Unitas was huddled up, a technician kicked a power cable loose. The TV signal went dead. Millions of screens went black. The NBC producers were panicking. They were about to miss the most important drive in football history. They needed to stall the game. But how do you stop a professional football game? They sent a guy, an NBC employee named Stan Rotkiewicz, to run onto the field. He literally ran onto the field during the timeout, pretending to be a drunk fan. He bobbed and weaved, avoiding security just long enough for the engineers to splice the cable back together. The drunk was escorted off. The signal came back on, and the viewers at home didn't miss a thing. Unitas went back to work. He marched the Colts 80 yards down the field. It was methodical, it was surgical, but it came with a cost. During one of the plays, the Colts' defensive captain, Gino Marchetti, had broken his leg. I'm talking a horrific break, tibia and fibula. But Marchetti refused to go to the hospital. He refused to even go to the locker room. He made the doctors put him on a stretcher and leave him on the sideline in the freezing cold because he wanted to see the end of the game. That is how much this mattered. The Colts got the ball to the 1-yard line, 3rd down and goal. Everyone expected Unitas to hand the ball off, but there was a risk. If they fumbled, they lost everything. Unitas looked at the defense. He saw a gap. He handed the ball to Alan Amecha, the fullback. Amesh found a massive hole opened up by his lineman. He plunged into the end zone. Touchdown. Colts 23, Giants 17. Fans stormed the field. It was absolute pandemonium. But the real impact of this game wasn't the score. It was the timing. This game was broadcast nationally by NBC. Because it went into overtime, it pushed into prime-time viewing hours on a Sunday night. People who had never watched football before, grandmothers, kids, baseball fans, were flipping through channels and saw this incredible drama unfolding. They saw the heroics of Unitas. They saw the grit of the defense. They saw the sudden death tension. And they got hooked. Before this game, the NFL was a second-tier league. After this game, television networks realized that football was the perfect TV sport. It had breaks for commercials, it had violence, it had strategy, and it had drama. Within a few years, the NFL signed massive TV contracts. The Super Bowl was created. Football overtook baseball as America's favorite sport. Johnny Unitas became an icon. Vince Lombardi went to Green Bay and became a legend. Tom Landry went to Dallas and built America's team. And it all started on that freezing afternoon in the Bronx with a broken leg, a fake drunk fan, and a quarterback who refused to lose. So the next time you watch the Super Bowl with a billion other people, remember the 1958 championship. It wasn't just a game, it was the moment the NFL grew up. If you want to know more about the crazy stories behind NFL and other sports, check the channel and subscribe. Thanks for watching.